Hey guys, it's Matt, and today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of building a website using HTML and PHP. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to go ahead and if you're on a Mac or actually a Windows machine, you're going to grab MAMP. If you're on Linux, I believe it's called LAMP, and you can Google those each. But MAMP is this wonderful little program here that actually runs an Apache server and a MySQL server on your local machine. So this is what's going to be serving our site until we're ready to put it on a real server. Next, you're going to need a code editor. In this tutorial, I will be using Visual Studio Code. It's free. MAMP is also free. MAMP Pro is an option, but we're going to be just using the free version of MAMP today. But Visual Studio Code, it's a pretty decent coding or a pretty decent programming sort of development environment. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is probably create a new folder for your project. You can put this anywhere. I'm going to just have it on my desktop. I've just got it called PHP tutorial. You're going to fire up Visual Studio Code and then File, Open, and then you'll open your folder. So right now it's an empty folder. That's fine. Next, you're going to go ahead and open up MAMP after it installs. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to MAMP, Preferences, Web Server, and then you're going to select your folder that you just made for this project. So in my case was the desktop PHP tutorial. We'll select it, and we'll click OK. So now what you're going to do is you're going to click Start Servers. Now for some of you, a window might pop up. Just delete it. It's just a Safari window. But we're going to actually go to Safari now, and we're going to head over to type localhost /8888, and then that will bring you here. It will say index of /. That is perfectly okay. That's because there are no folders in that directory, but this does mean that MAMP is serving the web page to our browser. So let's start out. Let's pop open Visual Studio Code, and we'll go ahead and just create a new file. Let's just so we need to call this index.php. I believe home.php also works, but home or index.php means that the web browser is going to serve this when you just type in this address. So as soon as you hit this, it'll bring up a blank page now because we have an empty index.php file. So like I said earlier, we're going to be using HTML and PHP. So we're going to be using HTML to build our sort of graphical user interface. We're going to use PHP to do all of the behind-the-scenes processing. So what you're going to want to do is in this tutorial, I'm going to be using Bootstrap, which is a very popular CSS framework, which allows you to just build really nice-looking websites and web pages. So if you just go to getbootstrap.com and hit Get Started, and just scroll down a little bit. I'm just going to copy and paste the starter template for now. It's just the easiest way to get started. So I'll just copy and paste that. All right. And now if we head back to localhost, if I just reload, we have Hello World. And it's using a different font, and that's because of Bootstrap. And so that's just, Bootstrap just has a lot of cool features, and you'll also notice that it says Hello World right here now because of that title tag. And then this H1 is this tag. You should be familiar with HTML if you're watching this tutorial. If not, there are some other tutorials on my channel just about the basics of HTML. Okay, so now that we've got that, so now that we've got our web page in HTML, we're going to write some PHP code. So what's really cool about PHP is you can inject PHP into your HTML. So say, instead of saying hello world right here, we'll start by opening a PHP tag. So this right here, anything in between this is PHP code. So now what we're going to do is we're going to echo, which means that the data is going to be cast to the web page, so it will show up. If you don't have this echo tag, it's not going to show up in the web page. But if we echo 5 + 9, we can come back here and it'll say 14. So that's some really basic PHP right there. But this sort of just shows how you can inject your PHP into your HTML. And I think you can probably see how this is going to be super dynamic and super, just very dynamic. I just said that, but it's going to be dynamic because you'll be able to pull, instead of saying 5 plus 9, you'll be able to pull 14 from the database or something, from the MySQL database. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to connect to a MySQL database and how to pull data from it and inject it right into your web page. So stay tuned for the next tutorial. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.